It's an honor for me to introduce our next speaker, Mike Gaspari from Stericycle. Foot Locker's a household name. Stericycle might not be. Those of you from the Chicago area might know a little bit about them, but you're going to see how they touch every one of our lives in one way or another. But this company means a lot to me because I've been working with them for almost 20 years, through 4 or 5 generations of hardware. Met some great people that are maybe not with Stericycle anymore. One example is John Shalaby. Where's John? Is he here? So we met John 15 years ago when he was running a project at Stericycle, and now John's moved on, Chief Operating Officer at DM Merchandising. But we continue to work together, and we've met a lot of people who started at Stericycle that way. So I'm excited for everybody else to get to know this company that I've known for a long time, Mike Gaspari from Stericycle.
In the ordinary and extraordinary moments of life, we all need to feel safe, secure, protected. And that's what drives our purpose, to protect your health and well-being in a safe, responsible, and sustainable way. From our beginning to stem the tide of syringes washing up on our shores, to prevent the risk of infection and needle stick injuries, to protect our waterways from pharmaceutical waste, to preserve strong customer and patient relationships, to reduce risk and damage to brands, to avoid losing one more person to the opioid epidemic. Stericycle is here so you can work in a safer environment, live in a healthier community, and enjoy the world around you, knowing your health and well-being are protected. Because we're shaping a healthier and safer world for everyone, everywhere, every day. Stericycle, we protect what matters.
Thanks for having me, Barcodes. It's a great honor for me to be up here and speak. A little bit about Stericycle. I may know what you guys know about Stericycle. You see them in a doctor's office, got a little container on the wall. What I found out 3 years ago is we really are much more than that. Stericycle grew out of the need to dispose of medical waste, but through large acquisitions, many acquisitions, they've become a much larger organization. We're over, I think it's a couple $2 billion revenue each year. And the largest acquisition we had was Shred-it, which is a document destruction company, both physical and media, digital media. We've been on a journey the last couple of years. We've been redoing our ERP system, and we've started to focus on just our core business, which is collect to dispose, centering on the medical waste and document destruction. Our journey with Barcodes really starts because we have a large workforce that's globally dispersed, and we consider ourselves a reverse logistics company, little tongue twister. We pick up material, we bring it back to our facility so we can dispose of it properly. And we have a lot of handheld technology out in the environment that we use Honeywell for today. But it didn't start that way. So back in 2015, when Shred-it was acquired, and our partnership with Barcodes began, we had different OEMs. We had a lot of different things going on, a lot of complexity in the environment. Barcodes actually came in with Honeywell, did some field visits, did some ride-alongs with our drivers, and they offered us some advice that we should standardize on equipment. We were using 2 different handheld manifest printers in our sites with our drivers. They recommended we go to 1. At that point in time, we didn't take them up on a lot of stuff. They also came up with ideas that we could retrofit and standardize our trucks with accessories. So we didn't take them up on it. We did standardize on a manifest printer for our drivers, but we only did it for our medical waste business because Shred-it was able to go paperless because of federal regulations with the hazardous waste we drive. We got to have tons of paper, so we still got to print paper receipts even today. But in 2019, the Shred-it side of the business needed to adjust their handhelds. The CT50 went end of life, and we decided to standardize across the board on the CT60 from Honeywell because it offered us a scalable platform and able to go backwards in time. We have a lot of legacy apps in the environment. As we're undergoing this ERP change, we're starting to bring a lot of those apps current, but we still have a long way to go, unfortunately. So the CT60 allowed us to go backwards, use Android 8, which we're on today. As we go forward, we were able to standardize all the equipment in the trucks. We send that out with our drivers. Reduces a lot of complexity. There was no more need for 2 different spare pools. We had everything all in one. And then, when I show up at Stericycle back in 2021, this was largely a business-supported technology. IT really didn't have a lot to do besides the applications. They decided through various different events that it was time to move it into IT. They moved it specifically into my group. I come from more of a desktop engineering background, collaboration tools, but they thought it fit. So that's when I met Pat and Rich, and we started to go through things. So the first things I did, and the company did, was we decided we needed to learn this technology. We needed to learn the process and understand how things went. So we created a steering committee that consists, I chair the steering committee, and that consists of the business, finance folks, IT stakeholders, and other concerned parties. We meet every month. We talk about the transformation and the transition into IT, and then we also talk about any new problems, new issues that are coming up. And one of the things we came up with was the challenges with the current process as it is. Our biggest problem was inventory. We really didn't know what we had. Our spare pool was drastically depleted. We were running on legacy devices with our handheld printers, even though we had switched to one. It was end of life. We couldn't get spare parts for it anymore. We were spending money when we didn't need to because people weren't following the process. Going through some of these pain points, I met with Rich and Pat. They said, we got a solution. We started talking with them. We had a service partner at the time who, through eight different systems, was able to give us a report on what was broken. We had no one pane of glass to look at and understand what our environment looked like, where we had devices. So we talked to them. Rich said, hey, why don't you transfer your service over to us? We agreed. We've been looking at it for the last year and a half. And one of the greatest things they said, and one of the things I've asked for a long time, is I need one pane of glass to look at my environment. I need to understand what devices I have, what devices are in service, what devices are in transition, and maybe what devices are lost, as well as help standardize on our service contracts with all these devices. So in 2023, we've decided to transfer our service over to Barcodes. We went live last month. They now do our deployments as well as our service. They've given me one pane of glass to look at, their TrueView portal. I can tell how many devices I have, where they are. They've given me the ability to look at all the tickets. We've bridged our IT systems. So our ServiceNow system is bridged with their system in the background. We transfer tickets automatically. Back in the as-is process, my customers used to have to call our service desk, hang up the phone, call our service provider, and log a ticket, and then they would take it from there. Today, thanks to Barcodes, we make one phone call, we transfer a ticket in the background, and they handle the rest. And I give my customers one phone number to call. But that's not where it ends. So Barcodes is still out, coming with us, doing site visits, doing ride-alongs with our drivers. Also in 2021, when we went from our old legacy manifest printer to our new manifest printer for our drivers, some of our applications didn't work. I said to Rich, I said, do you know anybody that can update an app for us? It's a legacy Android app. We don't have anybody on staff in the company that did it. it wasn't in business of doing app development anymore. He said, yep, we can do it for you. So they came, they updated the app. The app was actually hard-coded to our old printer. They made it so it's a little bit more printer agnostic as we go through. And then we also had a challenge where our drivers couldn't connect and enable and disable Bluetooth through the device. We had the device pretty locked down. Rich said, don't worry, we can do that for you too. They created an app for us that we put right on the home screen of our handheld device. If the driver has a problem with their device, they hit the unpair, they repair, and it saves calls to the help desk and saves calls to our support teams. I don't look at Barcodes as a vendor. They're more than that to me. They are actually a partner and a mere extension of my team. We're working on some other services with them. We're looking at RFIDs. So our containers every day that go out in the field, we've got to print labels every day, and they go through a vigorous wash cycle under extreme high temperatures. So we haven't been able to figure out how to use RFIDs yet, but Pat and team are looking at ways that we can change that. We go through a lot of paper. We're also looking at moving the service to EMEA as well. Right now we have 2 separate companies managing our handheld environments in North America and EMEA, so we're looking at expanding them with them. And I do look forward to the partnership. It's been great, and they're doing a great job out of the gates. Thank you.